Hey guys, welcome back to my NFL content. Today, the video you guys have all been waiting for. Today, we are posting the final, the updated, whatever you want to call it, preseason power rankings, okay? Now, this is what, I've been hyping this up for like the past couple weeks. I'm just completely, I'm ready. I've made a decision for my channel. I'm going to call you guys the Beanos. Just because, I feel like every single, all you guys need a name. Maybe I'll, post a poll on Twitter about it, like Beanos or the Carsonians. I don't know. Follow my Twitter. I'll post something about it. Anyways, stop. Whatever. So, if you guys are hyped, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe. I've never said that before, but, I figure I should probably start doing it. Anyways, let's get right into the video before you guys get bored. So, first order of business. How did I rank the teams? Now, I know you're really confused. Why? This has not been any of my other ranking videos. And this is because the way I did this is it's not like my other power ranking videos that I've done, where I just, take each team by how good I think, like number one is who I just think is going to be better. I took all of the rankings and I averaged out every single team, like all their spots, to find out what is their average positioning, right? And I know it's always like 16.32 or something. And then I rank them like the team in 32nd place, that's the team with the highest average, and the team in first place, number one team, is the best average. So this is technically my opinion, but just know I didn't know. Some of the things on here surprised me when I was making them, but I have to accept that this is how, by me going through, this is how I rank them. All right. Wait, give me just a second. I gotta go do something. I probably should cut this off the video, but I'm not. So, yeah, just stick with me for like 10 seconds. Sorry about that, guys. I was already recording and I realized, hey, Carson, you left your notes over there. I bet you half of the people who, if you're still watching after that, then you're actually interested in this. Anyways, I feel like I should stop putting like a picture of like the quarterback of a team or something on these, because it could spoil something. If you're a Jets fan, you probably don't want your team to be in the bottom 8. But now you already know that they are, so you might already just leave, give a dislike. Yeah, this sucks. Also, just keep in mind, a lot of this stuff could surprise me. You're gonna hear me going, what? But this is technically what I think. I grabbed the wrong notes. If you guys would excuse me for 10 more seconds. Actually, I could take you guys with me. Yeah. So, I got a new notebook because my birthday was the other day. And, I had a notebook. But it was, completely out of space. I should stop recording and start again. But I'm too stupid. So, I have one notebook that I'm taking all these new notes in. But I had actually taken all the notes that I took for these power rankings, like every single team's position after that. So, if you're still watching now, one, I'm very sorry for wasting this bit of time. And two, well, let's get into it. In 32nd place, dead last, with the highest average, we've got the Lions, and they've gone down 10 from my other power rankings. Again, I also did that. You'll know if they go down or up by, if they're red, that means they went down 10. If the green went up, then for this, in my very first preseason power rankings, I had them at 22nd, and now I have them at 32nd. Now the thing with them, when in the quarterback rankings, Matthew Stafford was 26th. I feel like he's gonna have to. I feel like if he doesn't take them to the playoffs in the next 2 years, this might be the end of his career, at least as a starter in Detroit. So I feel like he has to do something right now. But also, if you're looking at him, they really, in none of my rankings, they broke the top 10. The best ranking they had was with kickers, which, really, that's not very good. So, they really are last. I just really, I'm not a fan of their wide receiver unit or their run. I feel like their defense is definitely a lot better than their offense right now, but again, their defense is still not very good. This team is just a pretty bad team all around. But I do, this is just right now, this is not predictions, but I do feel like that they could definitely get better as the season progresses. Alright. And in the 31st, barely beating out the Lions, are the Dolphins. As you can see, in my previous power rankings, I did have them at 26th. And, I mean, I think one of the things that really surprised me is that as I did my research, I find that actually, you know, one of the reasons that they're not below the Lions is the fact that I found out that Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't half bad. I mean, whenever I was doing my quarterback rankings, I found out that, I mean, he's not that bad of a quarterback. And also, whenever I was doing, there's a new video coming out where I had to look at the quarterback stat. I'm not going to spoil it. Subscribe if you want to see it. I think that's about as many times I can plug subscription before I lose all you guys. But I found that he can move. I mean, he can, when he runs, he has a good average. I mean, he's not hurting them at all. This is another team. They never broke the top 10. They also never broke the 30. They were always in between 30 and 11th. And, of course, Ryan Fitzpatrick was the 11th spot. And, yeah, I mean, another team, their defense is definitely better than their offense. I mean, they have one of the worst wide receiver running backs in the league. And, I mean, the rest of them aren't that good either. I'm guessing, I mean, their safeties, their secondary isn't completely terrible, but it's still pretty bad. So, into the 30s, we've got the Bears. And this is, keep in mind, this is with Mitchell Trubisky, and if you look right here, I had them at 16th. So, I mean, just saying, that could be where they are. Anyways, I mean, just looking at them, they got a 20. I probably should start telling you the Lions, their average spot. The Lions' average was 23.5. The Dolphins' average was 23.125. And the Bears' average was 22.875. That is their average spot. So I'm telling you, these teams are bottom of the barrel. This is like not very many teams are inside the 20s. So, I mean, this is terrible. Keep in mind, again, this is with Mitchell Trubisky, who, again, is one of the worst. I had them at 28th quarterback. I mean, I think their offense, their tight ends might be like the best part of them. I mean, they've got some pretty solid tight ends. Their kickers are pretty good. I mean, they're just a great team. Not a great team, but I mean, they're okay in some aspects instead of just bad in all of them. So, I mean, if their tight ends are worse, they definitely could be in 30 or 32. And in 29th, we've got the Jets. Ooh, all the Jets fan. Keep in mind, I had them at 21st in my other power rankings. But, I mean, the Jets, Sam Darnold, I had him as the worst quarterback. I mean, he throws interceptions a lot. He's just bad, looking at the stats. And also, he's not very versatile. He doesn't move. He's really just like he's the worst quarterback you could have right now. I mean, I don't know. He might be like 32nd in movable like quarterbacks rushing. But I don't know. This is a team. Their wide receivers are pretty okay. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, their running backs are pretty good. Le'Veon Bell, you know, he's old, but I mean, he's good. He's still got it. But their tight ends, man, like, the heck is this crap? They're dumb tight ends. It's hard because I've got the notes spread out, so I'm gonna have to move in between them, and then screw it. So yeah, just 29th. Alright, and now moving up to 28th. We've got the Giants, first NFC East. No, I was about to say it's the first NFC team, but nah. It's not. The Giants all the way down here. Now, you might be really confused if you've been watching the channel for a bit. In my prediction videos, I had them, I think, going 9-7 and making the playoffs. But I want you to keep in mind that those are predictions. This is right now. At this moment right now, I think that they're only the 5th best team. I think they're 28th. But as the season goes on, I think they're going to jump up in power rankings. A lot of teams are. This is why a lot of teams, I mean, the Giants might be worse in other people's. Just like there's a lot of teams that I think are going to do better throughout the season, and that might influence a bit, but I'm trying to keep that away from happening. The things that really stick out to me on them are the fact that, again, their quarterback, Daniel Jones, did not look very good last year. He was pretty bad. He could move a bit, so that keeps them above like Sam Darnold, but still, it's just not good. I mean, he fumbled a lot towards the beginning of the season. That could possibly be because he was like nervous or whatever. Their defense is pretty okay. I mean, their secondary and their linebackers are pretty good. Their front seven, I guess their linebackers aren't the best, but still, they're good enough to be 28th, but they're not bad enough. They're not good enough to be anything else. And in 27, we got the Texans. Now, this is one that surprised me. This is one that blew me out of my seat whenever I looked over here. And I saw that the Texans had an average of 21.375. I don't know where in the world this happened, but they also never broke first. Now, this is weird because I feel like they're a good team, but when you look at the stats, you look at the actual stats and everything, they aren't the best. I mean, you also look at this. I had them at 9th in my original projections. It just shows you I didn't think they're that. But when I go through and I looked at each stat and I ranked all of them, I mean, of course, their best stat was quarterback. Deshaun Watson, amazing. They took their wide receiver unit. I had them at 20th. If they had kept around DeAndre Hopkins, they would be much higher even on this. They might be like 22nd. The fact, like, he is such a key and amazing player that they just gave away basically to the Cardinals. It's amazing that he's bad. So I understand if you're mad about this, but I mean, if you actually look at the stats, this is real. This is what it is. And in 26th, somehow beating out the Texans, we've got the Eagles, who actually went up 4. I had them at 30th in my last projections. This is one I don't feel bad about. A lot of people are going to feel bad. I feel like this is a team that I don't think is going to get worse. I feel like they got worse a while ago, and nobody figured it out. No one has seen the things that I'm seeing, the signs that they're getting much worse. They are in rebuild mode. It's like every single one of these teams that we've seen so far, except for maybe the Giants and Texans. Well, of course not the Texans. The Texans are pretty good. All of these teams, really, except for the Giants, are in rebuild mode. But I think it's pretty weird how the Eagles have kept it hidden. I mean, it just amazes me. The only real good part about them are their defensive linemen are pretty okay. They're pretty good. And, I mean, Carson Wentz. I'm a big Carson Wentz hater, but when I actually look at the stats, I had him in the top 10 quarterbacks. He is pretty good. So, in 25th, we've got the Chargers. Of course, this is, with Tyrod Taylor. In my last rankings, I had them at 14th. You're going to see a lot of these big numbers because, I mean, whenever I go through and I looked at all the actual stats, a lot of the teams got a lot just jumbled up. There's only 2 teams that actually stayed in the same spot, okay? So if you watch my last power rankings, you're going to know where 2 teams are. Let's talk about the Chargers. Chargers, their defensive linemen are top-notch, amazing. Their tight ends are great. It's just, I mean, their secondary is not good. Their secondary is pretty bad. They probably have, I'm going to say, probably a better defense right now than they have offense. When Justin Herbert gets instrumented into this, I think that their offense could, of course, get boosted, possibly to the point of them. I mean, they're still, they made the playoffs a few years back. They're still good. Okay, they're still, I mean, they're 25th, but that's because they just got rid of Phillip Rivers. They're going to bring in another quarterback that's going to send their offense flying up, and they're probably going to maybe end up inside the top 15. Moving on. See, another thing. If you're a Bengals fan, you already know that your team is over here. Of course, but I mean, if you're a Bengals fan, you're probably pretty happy about that. All right, and in 24th, We've got the Panthers right where they were in my last rankings. In my last rankings, I had them at 24th. Then I go through everything, and right on the dot, 24th. You can tell that because it's got the white dash, because they didn't move at all. So, I mean, there's nothing to look at over there. All right, and I mean, this is another one where I feel like their offense really needs a lot of work. Christian McCaffrey is really just holding this whole offense up. If Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, he was probably the best backup last year, and I had him like in the middle of all the quarterbacks, okay? Just to show you, I told you that not very many teams are in the 20s. The Panthers had an average spot of 18.25th. So, I mean, that's not good, but it's also not as completely terrible. Not very many teams are average in the 20s. All right, so, I mean, really, I mean, and they spent all their draft picks on their defense. I mean, their defense is still lackluster. Their defense is still not anything to stare at. So, I mean, they really need to put in some work. I mean, I feel like if they could, they're not in complete rebuild mode yet, but I feel like if they have one more bad year, like the last 2 years have been pretty terrible. If they have one more year like that, it's going to be rebuild mode, tanking, all this crap. But I feel like this team has, they just need like one thing to go right. I mean, they are so close in the like last 2 seasons. I know they live in North Carolina, and like the only freaking NFL games that show up on TV are Panthers games. They always come off like one touchdown short, which is, I mean, so I feel like if they can get a spark going, I feel like this team could surprise everybody. But right now, I'm having them at 24th. And 23rd, we've got the Patriots, who of course dropped down from 11th. The Patriots, pretty farther down than I thought I had them. But here's one thing that you're going to be surprised to hear, especially since you just saw that I put them in 23rd. And that's that I think that Jarrett Stidham is better than a lot of people think. People think, oh, they see Jarrett Stidham, they say, oh, he was a backup quarterback. Oh, whatever. He was a rookie, right? He got to sit behind Tom Brady for 2 whole years. That's 1 year of sitting behind the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Brady. I know he's got a lot of haters, but you got to admit, he knows how to throw a football, okay? I mean, and the fact that he sat behind him, I mean, you saw what happened to Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Aaron Rodgers even. Like a lot of these, I mean, like Patrick Mahomes, all he had was Alex Smith. This guy's got, Tom Brady. Now, I'm not saying, I had him at 15th in quarterback. And now, I'm not saying that he's going to be as good as Patrick Mahomes, but he's going to be better than what everyone's saying he's going to be. Oh, and also, I had them at the #1 secondary. Stephon Gilmore, that whole backfield, I mean, you're going to be scared being a quarterback going up against them. Interceptions all day. And in 22nd, we've got the Raiders, who, of course, went up 5 from 27th all the way up to 22nd. So, I mean, that's good. If you're a Raiders fan that's been watching my channel for a bit, there you go. I gave you what you want. Now, the main thing here is that their defense is nothing special except for their linebackers. I had them in second in linebackers. Their linebackers can tear through your offensive line, okay? Also, I had Derek Carr at 16th quarterback. He's got a few years left in him. I feel like next year, the Raiders are probably going to be looking for another quarterback. I don't feel like Derek Carr is going to get them to the Super Bowl. I feel like, yes, they could definitely make the playoffs. I had them making the playoffs, but I don't think they could go far into the playoffs with something like Derek Carr. I don't see Derek Carr winning another Super Bowl. And in the end, that's what every team's goal is. So I feel like when you have a quarterback that you basically know is not going to win a Super Bowl, you got to get rid of him. But still, he's 16th. He is like the definition of an average quarterback. He's got some good tight ends to work with. So, I mean, what are you doing over there? And then 21st, we've got the Bengals all the way up from 28th in my last one. Now, this one, when you look at the stats, the Bengals are pretty good. I mean, they're 17.75 average, so that's okay. Their offense is what needs work. I had them at the worst. They have the worst set of tight ends, and they almost have the worst running backs. I mean, it's just nothing's going right for them at all, ever. So, I mean, I kind of feel bad for them. Their defense, though, the special teams unit, their kicking unit is pretty good, which again doesn't mean much. Also, their safeties are top notch. I mean, their front seven can get stuff done. So, I mean, they're in 20th. Not in the top 20, but you almost made it. Better than a lot of people are putting you. So, Bengals fans, show up in the comments. Let me know how amazing I am. And in 20th, we got the Colts all the way up from 25th. Now, a lot of you, I think that Phillip Rivers is underrated. I feel like he is a good quarterback. I feel like he could pop off this season. He could. Now, I didn't have him very high in my quarterback rankings, but still, I feel like his front seven might be the best front seven in the entire league. I mean, this front seven can devastate an offense. Some of the best linebackers and linemen I've seen. I mean, the running backs are pretty good too. It's just if Phillip Rivers can step up and prove that he still got it, then the Colts could go places. The Colts could make the playoffs again and again and again. But if he shows his age and, I mean, he plays like, any good football player, you always hear about how they go to another team and, I mean, they're forgotten there. Or he could be a Peyton Manning and go to another team and do amazing. So I'm just saying, it's possible. And in 19th, we've got the Steelers. Now, you're gonna be surprised no matter what. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I don't like the Steelers very much. I have nothing against them. My team isn't in their league. I had them at 23rd, by the way. It's just I don't think they're very good. So you're either surprised, like, what? If you haven't watched my channel and you're like, what? Why are they not in the top 3? They should be second. They're so good. Or you're like, really? You didn't put them like in 31st? But no, I have to admit, the Steelers have some talent there. Looking at them, their defense can keep up. Their kicking unit is one of the best, third best. I mean, this front seven is made to hurt you. And if Big Ben, I have to admit this. I think that Big Ben's going to be one of the worst quarterbacks this year. But if he comes back and he plays like his old self, y'all have the permission to go back to all my old videos and say, boom, we told you. Big Ben is going to be amazing. We told you. Okay? But, I mean, if he's bad, and I get to go over there, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to come back when the Steelers have 10 to 13 wins. They're not going to be coming back. I'm telling you, he's going to be bad. This one surprised the heck out of me. Like you see right here, I had them at second. They're one of the best teams. But when you look at the stats, again, I had them at their average spot is 14.625. Okay? They're 14th. That's the average. But, I mean, their wide receiving unit isn't... I mean, of course, this is another flaw. One of the things whenever you're doing normal power rankings is you look at them and you go, oh, okay, so they don't have the best wide receiving unit, but because they've got Lamar Jackson, that pushes them above other teams. What I see here is I see bad wide receivers, good quarterback. I don't see, like, a team here. This is one of the flaws. I considered not making this video, but because, I've been building up to it, figured it was only fair. So, I mean, yeah, you look at all the stats, and there they are. Feel free to get mad at me. And then in 17, we got the Browns, down from 21st. Not down from 21st, down from 13th. Again, I don't know how the heck the Browns are supposed to be better than the Ravens. I kind of hate myself for making this. Anyway, how long have I been making? How long do I have? 24 minutes. Most of my videos are like 27 minutes long. This is a long one. Thank you for sticking with me. You are amazing. I'm just telling you right now, you watching the screen, you would probably be the only one, other than like me, who is going to see this part. You are amazing, sir. Anyways, like you right now. You 18 to 24-year-old male from the United States of America. 100% of my audience is from 18 to 24. And 100% of my audience is male. And 99% of my audience is from the United States. So I know you. That's my demographic right now. People from the same country who are older than me. It sucks. Of course, I mean, I can't expect people from out of the United States to be wanting to watch United States football. Anyways, the Browns, one of the reasons that they're down here is because Baker Mayfield, I feel like he might be like a quarterback, kind of like Case Keenum, who had one good season, and that's it. And his one good season was with a pretty bad team. I feel like if the Browns had been better, like the rest of the team had been as good. So if the Browns 2 years ago, other than like take Baker Mayfield out of the occasion, had been the same team that it was last year, and then you add Baker Mayfield to that, if you add Baker Mayfield 2 years ago to last year's Browns, that roster, you get probably a team that goes far into the playoffs. Just saying. But I feel like he might just get worse. For all we know, in 2 years, the Browns are going to be looking for another quarterback. I feel like he's going to keep that starting job for a while, though, because, I mean, they're going to still hope that he can pull out that magic. But I'm going to predict Baker Mayfield's future. He plays for the Browns for 3 more years. He gets released. He gets picked up by another team desperate. He somehow takes them to the playoffs, maybe makes a Super Bowl run. I don't think he wins the Super Bowl. Maybe he makes it to a Super Bowl with the other team. Then he loses that game, and then he becomes like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. He becomes a Case Keenum. He becomes a Nick Foles. A quarterback kind of just, a travel man quarterback. He goes around, either starting or being secondary quarterback. So, I mean, that's what I see. And in 16th, they've got the Cowboys up all the way from 29th. Because when I look at them, I have to admit the Cowboys have talent on their roster. The Cowboys, really, they have the best wide receiver unit. I mean, Amari Cooper is amazing. T. Higgins, I'm pretty sure that's who they got, is amazing. No, it's not T. Higgins. Ignore that part. They got some quarterback. I know his name. I can't think of this guy's name. Anyways, but it's just because Dak Prescott, like I said in my quarterbacks video, my 3-year-old brother can throw much better, more accurate than Dak Prescott, okay? If they just had a better quarterback, maybe I would accept that they're better than my team. But they're not. And the Jaguars, coming all the way up from 32nd, going all the way from dead last to in the top 15. How did that happen? Well, let's find out. Because I looked and I saw that their defense, they have the best kicking unit. All right? And I know I've been saying, it doesn't matter, but when you when you're consistently making field goals and you can feel better taking field goals from farther back, that can stop like risky, like at the end of the season. Like if you have a bad kicking unit and it's like the last play of the last game, like if you win it, you go into the playoffs, or heck, it is a playoff game, and you're 60 yards away. All right, it's gonna be like a 65-yard field goal, right? If you have a good kicking unit, you're gonna kick the best kicking. You're gonna kick it. All right, you're gonna take that chance. If you have a terrible kicking unit, you're gonna go for a 60-yard Hail Mary, something crazy like that. And that's no fun. All right. So the kicking unit really does help. And I mean they've got a pretty solid defense. Their offense isn't the best. I mean, if this is another case of if the quarterback was better, the whole team would jump up on the ratings. I mean, they could possibly be top 10. I mean, if you're a Jaguars fan, just like a Bengals fan, you can't complain. And then got the Falcons, also coming from down low. They came from 31st. They're proving me wrong. When I look at these stats, I have to apologize to Falcons and Jaguars fans. Your teams are okay, except for your quarterbacks. The Falcons, again, their offense. They have some pretty good running backs. Their wide receiving core is pretty great. They had an average of 16. We're breaking into the top. We're in the top half. But, I mean, it's just because Matt Ryan. I know he's got good stats and everything, but, I mean, if you watch his games, he just doesn't look very good. And, yes, he can move around a bit, but still. So, I mean, if Matt Ryan plays pretty well, this whole team's going to jump. All right, and then 13, we got the Rams, who have only fallen down 1 from 12. This is like the lowest movement we've seen since the Panthers, who didn't move at all. The Rams, I mean, I'm trying to get this out. All right. Their defense, their linemen, and their secondary are great. They're going to sack you, and then they're going to pick off the ball that you throw while you're being sacked. Well, I know, like, the linemen are going to hit you, and while you're being hit, you throw the ball and it gets intercepted. That's going to be, pretend I never said that. Jared Goff, though, I mean, this is another case of quarterback goes into a Super Bowl, does really well, and then he kind of falls off. I mean, you saw it with Matt Ryan. You saw it with Cam Newton. I mean, I guess Cam Newton was still pretty elite. He was up there with Ben Roethlisberger before he got hurt the first time. And the Buccaneers coming all the way up from 15th. I mean, if you're good, you're good. That's why a lot of these teams haven't moved very much. I mean, they got Tom Brady. They could be elite or they could be the Browns. They're starting to get hyped up real bad. All the NFC South fans, all the NFC South teams, freaking Teddy Bridgewater watching this video wondering why the Panthers were freaking 24th. You better be scared because the Buccaneers are coming for you. All right? I mean, you got Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks. You've got one of the best receiving units. I mean, your wide receivers are top-notch. Your tight ends are even better than that. The only bad part are their kickers. Their kicking unit is not very spectacular, all right? So, I mean, they don't have, again, like, their safety needs work, but it's still not very, their linemen could definitely use some handling. Their running backs aren't very good. But, I mean, still, this team could be elite. Prove me right, Buccaneers. Just outside of the top 10, oh, you almost made it, buddies. We have the Broncos. All the way up from 18th. Here are the Broncos. When I look at them, I feel like they have great wide receivers. Their defensive unit, I mean, their safeties are pretty good. Their linemen, their front seven is great. But it's just because Drew Lock, who I had him as the second worst quarterback, I do not believe in him. I do not think he has good ability. I do not think he's very good at all. All right? The only quarterback who's worse than him is Sam Darnold. Fight me about it. We've got the 49ers down from very first. I had them in first place. I had them at the very front of the pack. The best. When I did my first rankings, I thought they were the best NFL team. But now, barely making the top 10, which is still good. I mean, heck, they're going to make the playoffs, no doubt. But still, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, and they could be much worse if, what's it called? What's his name? If Jimmy Garoppolo gets a case of the after Super Bowl blues, you know? Because he went to the Super Bowl, and for all we know, he's going to be the next Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff. We never know. I'm gonna pretend like he's not, though. Their tight ends are great. I mean, their offense is pretty stacked. Their secondary is bad. Just gonna go ahead and put that out there. Their secondary, I mean, it isn't worse. It isn't terrible. It's just bad. So if they work on their defense, and if Jimmy Garoppolo looks like early season Jimmy Garoppolo last year, then this team could pop off back in the top 5 for me. But for now, let's just check out who's in 9th, huh? That's right, it's the Titans. Falling down from 5th, but it's the Titans. They're 9th, okay? Titans fans. I mean, last year people were not putting you guys at 9th. All right? And it's really because Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, amazing. Derrick Henry is a god. No, he's not. He might be the best running back out there. He probably is. I'm not going to say it, though, because I'm sure there's going to be some rookie freaking freaking Antonio Golden, Randy, whatever. Probably gonna prove me wrong, but I'm gonna say I think Derek Carr is right now. Last year was the best running back. Okay, this team is being held up by him and the fact that Ryan Tannehill took off last year. But one of the things I'm also scared about is kind of like Jimmy Garoppolo. Could this be like a 1-year thing? Could he have played those like 9 games, done really amazing, taken out the Patriots, taken out the Ravens? Is he gonna play like old Titans, old like Dolphins? Ryan Tannehill, we'll see. All right, and 8th, we've got the Packers, who didn't move. So that's the last team that didn't move. The Panthers and the Packers did not move at all. I had the Packers at 8th in my last rankings, and now they're back at 8th. So I mean, you can't complain about that, can you? I'm sure someone will. Anyways, Packers, their wide receiver unit and their linebackers are keeping them down. All right, I mean, they just got to get their linebackers up to speed. They got to get their wide receiver unit back up. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still being elite. I'm really confused, though. I mean, over the past, 4 or 5 years, he hasn't been that consistent, but, I mean, he seems to be back into, I'm one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. And so I'm going to take it as that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and that boosted them up to 8th. In the 7th, we've got the Redskins all the way up from 20th. And that's because there's another team that I think is probably going to be in the top 3 at the end of the season. But right now, just 7th. All right. And if you look at that, that's because one of the things that I like about this team, their wide receiving unit is stacked. They've got Randy Golden. I don't know his name, not very well. They've got Terry McLaurin. They've got Steven Sims. It's just their wide receiving unit is really great, and their running back unit is might be the best. With Adrian Pete, and I said running back room, okay? I know I just said Derrick Henry's the best running back, but, I mean, they've got 2 great running backs in Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson, the man, the myth, the legend. And also, Dwayne Haskins got much better week by week last year, and he seems to have gotten much better throughout the offseason this year. So, again, when you actually look at the stats, a lot of these teams look a lot better than if you just look at, their record. And then we've got the Seahawks all the way up from 10th. The Seahawks, let's find them on here. Oh, and also with the Redskins, they have the best punter in the league. That helps, especially since they're punting a lot. Ha, 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 ha. I hate myself. Anyways, one of the things that's definitely holding this team up, the Seahawks, by the way, we are entering the pretty low numbers. Their average was 12th. That was their average placement. But Russell Wilson is still elite, is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He can run, he can throw. For all I know, he can catch. He can do everything. For all I know, he's a good linebacker. This man is an amazing quarterback. I mean, speaking of linebackers, their linebacking unit is the best in the league right now. Okay? Their linebackers are the best. All right? Their wide receivers are amazing. Their whole offense, the Seahawks offense is something to be scared about. Their defense is pretty good too. You can't have really one good and one bad and be all up at 6. But their offense is probably top 2 in the league right now, okay? You can fight me about that if you want. And then 5th, they've got the Vikings all the way up from 7th, which I guess is not very high. Yes, I do think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. Yes, I do think that what's his name? Their running backs are elite. Their running backs are some of the best. Their running backs are amazing. All right? Their tight ends, though, I know they got Rudolph and all that crap, but it's not very impressive to me. The linemen, though, top-notch. Kirk Cousins, top-notch. Their kicking unit, top-notch. I'm telling you, this team is great. You almost made it into the podium. But Chiefs, you did not expect the Chiefs to show up here, did you? And, I mean, you also didn't expect them to have a green thing and show up here, did you? I had them at 5th. But they moved up to 4th. I take that as I did something right. Because, I mean, if you're good, you're good. And looking at them, they got Patrick Mahomes. They've got the #1 tight end unit in my book. This team is stacked. Freaking Travis Kelce. Freaking, what's that guy's name? I can't remember anybody's name. This team, the fan just went out of my room. That's always scary. Anyways, let's get into the top 3. Who cares about the Chiefs? Everyone does, of course. I think I remember who this third one is. This is about to surprise you because it's the Cardinals. The Cardinals. It's the Cardinals. What? I don't consider them very good at all, but they're all the way up here 3rd. It's because when you look at all this crap, they have an average positioning of 11th. Alright? It's because their wide receivers stacked. Tight ends stacked. Line front 7 is good. I mean, their safeties top notch. You don't want to be throwing against this team. Their kicking unit is great. Now, Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray was top, I mean, if they had Drew Brees in there, best team in the league right now. This team is so, I was underrating them. When you look at the stats, this team is so underrated. This team could explode onto the scene. This team could be the best. But they're only 3rd, and that's because they've got teams like the Saints in front of them, who I had at 4th. And this, you don't beat the Saints. The Saints, they've got the best. I mean, they've got freaking Michael Thomas on there. Freaking, they've got the best running backs. They've got they've got an amazing offense. Look, their offense, I had their wide receivers 2nd best. Their running backs 9th. Their tight ends 2nd. And, of course, Drew Brees 2nd to only one man, who you already know who it is. My man Lamar Jackson. Drew Brees is amazing. I mean, this offense, you gotta have the best defense in the league to beat them. You have to have some amazing defense if you're gonna consistently stop them from scoring. I mean, really, you've got to have a great offense so you can keep up with them if you want to even have a chance of beating them. This team is just absolutely amazing. Not to mention, their safeties are, again, 4th best in my book. Their safeties are tearing through the league right now. This team, you do not want to play them. But, unless, of course, you're the Bills. All the way up at 1st from the 6th spot. I forgot. I thought I had the Ravens at 1st. I was full on prepared to say, unless you're Lamar Jackson. But no, it's the Bills. Now, I want you to look at something. The Saints had an average spot of 10.375. All right. The Bills, I like how I just got all silent, had an average spot of 7.75. That is insane. They only had one section of their team outside of the top 10, and that was their tight ends, who I gotta admit aren't the best. But I mean, their offense, I'm a big believer in Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is pretty great. Josh Allen is, he had him 8th in quarterbacks. Their wide receiving unit is top 5. Their running back unit is amazing. Their secondary is great. Again, this is their front 7 that could rival that of the freaking, the freaking Saints themselves. Their defense is stacked. Their offense is stacked. This is another team that is underrated. The Cardinals, and the Cardinals are definitely more underrated, but the Bills, everyone knows they're good. I think at this moment in time that they are the best team in the entire National Football League. I mean, it's amazing. Their safeties are 2nd best. Best to only the Patriots. You don't tell me that this team can beat any team in the league. I fully expect them to possibly make a Super Bowl run. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills are Super Bowl championships this year. Okay? Which is why I will actually scratch that. I will 100% be redoing my NFL predictions. Yes, all you haters out there who told me all my predictions are wrong. After I've gone through and I've ranked every single possible thing, starting July 9th, I will be I will be re-predicting them all, okay? You just got to give me some time because, I mean, I just planned this out yesterday after looking at all this crap. I think I messed up in a lot of my predictions. I'm going to redo all this crap now that I've got so many notes. I've looked into everything. Thank you for watching this 45-minute. And if you didn't, then just know that I am going to be making a Beancast talking about how I'm going to redo all my predictions. So be tuned in for that. Go ahead and subscribe. I mean, every single subscriber I get, trust me, I don't get very many. I get like 6 per month. So when you subscribe, trust me, I know you know, if you hit the subscribe button, just know you have instantly given a stranger an immense amount of joy. Okay? And I mean, I hope that makes you happy. And even just a like. When I see that I have like 1 or 2 likes, it tells me, hey, someone liked this. I should keep on doing this. All right? And don't dislike this just because I have a different opinion than you. I mean, why the heck are you watching YouTube videos if you don't want anyone to have a different opinion than you? Exactly. Thanks for watching this whole thing. You just gave me a lot of YouTube clout. Bye.
Won't you take